What's a scripture that you see taken out of context all the time on this app? Oh my God, I'm so glad you asked. Revelations 22 and 18. Y'all know it. If anyone adds to the words of this book, God will add to him the plagues that are written in this book. And if anyone takes away from the words of this book, then God will take away his share out of the tree of life and the holy city things that which are written about in this book. So in particular, you hear this scripture being utilized by people who are always saying that when there are different translations and different versions of the Bible, that people are adding to or taking away from the words of the books of the Bible. But when we look at the text a little bit slower and a little bit more clear, we see that that is explicitly not what John is actually talking about. Listen.
So someone asked the question, you have all these different translations of the Bible. You have the NLT, you have the NIV. You see, you have all these different translations. And all these versions of the Bible, they remove scripture. You see, or they either remove the scripture or they reword the scripture, to confuse you. They'll even go as far as to say that, we don't even have to keep the commandments anymore. You see, when God said, in the Old Testament, that this is the book of the law. This is the book of the law that shall endure forever. You see, so he goes on to say that Paul wasn't referring to, all books of the Bible that have been mistranslated or scriptures removed from these Bibles. They removed the Apocrypha. You see, they removed all these books. And he says Paul wasn't referring to, or John wasn't referring to these scriptures. You see, he wasn't referring to the entire book. You see, but let's get a scripture to see what was John referring to. Where was John quoting from when he said, "Do not add to or remove"? So let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 2. It says, "Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish aught from it, that ye may keep the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you." So God says, ye shall not add unto the word or take away, diminish from the word. Why? Because when you add unto or remove from the word, you will have a, a unclear understanding that God said, you should keep his commandments. That's why he said, do not add to or remove. You see, the whole point was that you would keep his commandments in the last days. You see, and you have Christian pastors like this that say, John wasn't referring to the whole book, just Revelations. If you read it slow enough, you'll get a better understanding. You see, you see the smoke and mirrors that the devil uses. He says, just read it a little bit slower this time, and you'll understand that John wasn't referring to the whole book, just Revelation. But God says right here, do not add unto or remove, from this book. That means the entire book. That's what it means, the entire book. You see? You shall not add unto the word. See? All scripture is profitable, So he's referring to the whole book. All the prophets referred back to the first 5 books of the Bible, no matter how you cut it. You see, the New Testament, all the apostles, Christ himself referred back to the first 5 books of the Bible. So no matter how you cut it, he says, do not diminish aught from it, that you may keep the commandments.